Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Antonia. Today I am going to share with you guys my favorite high protein pizza dough recipe, and I make this very often. It is higher in the carbs when it comes to macros. However, it gives you 20 grams of protein in the dough alone, or it's actually like 20.9. It depends on what brand of flour and stuff you guys are using, but specifically what I'm using, it is about 20.9 or 21 grams of protein in the dough alone. And for that, I don't mind rearranging my day in order to fit this into my macros. I already made one to show you guys. I'm also going to show you guys how you can split this into a bagel as well, because this dough recipe is extremely versatile. You can make it into something sweet, you can make it into something savory. I personally always use this as a bagel or pizza dough recipe because I think it is best eaten right away or like within the week. With the pizza, I always eat it right away. With the bagels, I usually make a couple of them and then I'll eat them throughout the week. As long as you toast them up very nicely, they taste just like a bagel. This is gonna taste just like a pizza, so let's get started. First up, I just have all-purpose flour. You're gonna take 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour and just throw that into the bowl here. If you want to be exact, then you can use a scale, but for this, I'm just going to use what I have. So 2/3 of a cup into the bowl here. I'm going to need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder, throw that in. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and this is the last dry ingredient because we're going to go in with Greek yogurt, and that's what's gonna give it its high protein. So already in the flour, there's protein, but if you're just using flour alone, it's not gonna give you much, right? So in the flour alone, you get 9.6 grams of protein, and then combined with the Greek yogurt, you put 116 grams into it, it's 11.3 grams, which makes it a total of about 20.9 grams of protein. I'm personally gonna go in with a spatula, my Greek yogurt, and then my scale, but if you're not using a scale, then that's fine. I'm just gonna do 160 grams. The reason why I'm doing this is because I just don't want to dirty a cup, and then I know that it's 116 grams, so I'm just gonna throw in 116 grams of non-fat Greek yogurt. So plain non-fat Greek yogurt. You don't want to add any kind of like vanilla or anything like that. Maybe that would be good for a sweet kind of dough, but not for a pizza dough. That I don't think would taste very good. And yeah, I just didn't want to dirty a cup or anything like that, which is why I'm using this. And that way I'm going to use this spatula, and that's 116 grams here. That's all my ingredients. Now that I have everything in there, I'm just going to push the Greek yogurt into the flour until it forms a dough. So I'm just gonna continue working it in, and then you eventually will need to use your hands because it just gets too crumbly. So you see it's very, very crumbly at first. It's gonna take me about a minute or two to really work it in. And then my nails are very long right now, so I decided I would just throw a glove on. I'm going to scrape the Greek yogurt off. You can definitely just have clean hands. My hands are clean, it's just that I don't want to get the dough stuck beneath my nails because my nails are very long right now. I'm gonna set the spatula, and then you're basically just gonna knead everything together until it forms a dough ball. Just keep pressing the flour into the dough, and eventually it will just become one piece of dough. And there you go, we have our pizza dough. So it doesn't need to rise or anything like that. It is absolutely ready to go off the bat like this. So let's roll this out into bagels and also pizza dough as well. All right, to roll out the pizza dough, you just need a piece of parchment paper, a rolling pin, or some sort of bottle or something, and then your pizza dough here. I'm doing it on my stovetop just because. You can definitely split this into 2 pizzas if you want. They'll make 2 mini ones or 1 personal size. But for today, I'm going to do a full pizza. For the pizza dough, I decided to make 2 mini pizzas instead of 1. You can absolutely combine them together and just make 1 larger personal size pizza. I just want to make a mini pizza, like 2 mini pizzas. So I'm going to just flatten this so it's like in a circular shape, and then you're just gonna take this and start rolling it out. It does give you a little bit of resistance, so definitely take your time with it. If it's sticking a lot, then you're gonna need to put some flour down. So lay some flour down because it was getting a little bit sticky, and then I'm just gonna start rolling this as circular as possible. So that's about good. I'm going to just gently stretch this and then place it aside and then work on my other one. Okay, so there are my pizza doughs rolled out. I assembled 2 mini pizzas. I haven't popped them in the oven just yet. I'm gonna assemble this large one for you. This is what the personal size large pizza looks like. You can definitely stretch it out a little bit larger, but whoever I'm serving this to just likes it a little bit thicker. So I use the Trader Joe's fat-free pizza sauce. 1/4 cup or 63 grams, if you wanna be extremely precise, is 30 calories, 0% fat or 0 grams of fat. 6 grams of carb and 1 gram of protein. So I have a 1/4 cup here just because it's easier to show you this way. Otherwise, you can definitely use a scale to be exact, because sometimes these measurements, when you put them in cups and stuff like that, they're not exact. But whoever I'm making this for doesn't count macros the way I do, so this is fine. 5 slices of this hot Genoa salami. I'm just using this because I need to finish up whatever I have in my fridge as charcuterie, and I didn't eat all of this. So 1 serving is 5 slices. You can use less or more. I'm just gonna use the 5 slices. Gotta add some sort of veg. I have 40 grams of broccoli here, so I'm just gonna add that on top. You can add more or less, whatever you prefer. And this broccoli is just raw broccoli because of course it's gonna cook when we place it in the oven. Lastly, I have 30 grams of non-fat Cracker Barrel marble cheese. You can use mozzarella. Again, I'm just using whatever I have on hand. This is gonna go into the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes, or until everything is like golden brown. The bagels also go in the oven for 425 for about 20 minutes. So for the bagels, it's very simple. On a clean surface, so this has been cleaned, you're gonna split your dough in half. If you wanna use a scale to be more accurate, you definitely can. I definitely did. You're just gonna take them into like a log-like form. Roll this out. My table's a little bit shaky, so please ignore that, but yeah. So you're gonna roll it out and then try to taper the ends because they're gonna meet like this. And then you're gonna just give it a nice little roll. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to meet and stick together. So there you go, I'm gonna set that one aside. You have yourself another bagel. So we're gonna transfer these into a baking sheet now. To finish up the bagels, I'm gonna make mine everything but the bagel. You're gonna need an egg wash. If you need the grams for this, then I just estimate like maybe a teaspoon each. You really don't use that much. You just need a little bit of an egg wash to go over top of this. But I know some people are, you know, when you put macros in and you're counting macros, you do need to be more accurate. I would just estimate a teaspoon that's going around. So you're just gonna brush this with the egg wash. Take my everything but the bagel seasoning, and I'm just gonna throw that on there. And there you go, we're gonna pop these in the oven. My oven is at 425 now. In they go, it's 1240. I'm gonna do 20 minutes. So about 1 p.m. they will be ready. Everything's in the oven. It's steaming, let's check. It's 101. Ooh, yes, it is ready. Here's the pizza and the bagels. Here's my 2 mini pizzas. Look at those pizzas. my bagels, the larger pizza. Now that the pizza and the bagels are ready, let's go over the macros. So the dough for the bagels and the pizza stays the same. Now this is gonna depend on if you eat the entire dough or if you're gonna split them in half. So of course a bagel is only using half of the dough, so then you would split these macros in half. But if you're eating the full dough, then these are the macros. So for the flour, it's 264 calories, 52.8 grams of carb, 1.2 grams of fat, and 9.6 grams of protein. For half a cup of Greek yogurt, it's non-fat Greek yogurt, by the way, 66 calories, 4 grams of carb, 0 grams of fat, and 11.3 grams of protein. For the baking powder, 2 calories, 1.3 grams of carb, 0 grams of fat, and 0 grams of protein. And for salt, it's 0 across the board, which gives you a whopping total of 332 calories. 58.1 grams of carb, 1.2 grams of fat, and 20.9 grams of protein. Now this is really good if you want a carb heavy meal, but like you want to add some protein into it. A lot of pizza doughs and like bagels and stuff like that, they don't have any protein in them, and this will keep you fuller for longer. So you don't necessarily have to be counting your macros to be enjoying this dough. It's just a high protein dough, and you, again, it's not something for weight loss. If you want to fit this into your macros, you surely can. You can get a taste of the pizza and you can get a taste of the bagel, whatever you're trying to eat. And it's just satisfactory. Work around your macros in order to fit this in. I absolutely can fit the whole thing in. I make 2 separate pizzas just because I like having the pizza a little bit thinner and the toppings spread out a little bit more, but I use the same toppings, the grammage and everything like that, for a full pizza or one mini pizza. Let's go over the toppings for the pizza first. For the toppings, I had 30 grams of light marble Cracker Barrel cheese. That's 90 calories, 0 carb, 7 grams of fat, and 8 grams of protein. For the quarter cup of the Trader Joe's fat-free pizza sauce, 30 calories, 6 grams of carb, 0 fat, and 1 gram of protein. I did 4 slices of sopressata meat, 73 calories for 4 slices, 0 carbs, 6 grams of fat, 4.7 grams of protein. And then lastly, I did 40 grams of raw broccoli, 14 calories, 2.7 grams of carb, 0.1 grams of fat, and 1.1 grams of protein. That's a total of 207 calories, 8.7 grams of carb, 13.1 grams of fat, and 14.8 grams of protein. If you add both of it together, you get 539 calories for the whole 2 pizzas plus the toppings, 66.8 grams of carb, 14.3 grams of fat, and 35.7 grams of protein. That is quite high for a very carb heavy meal, and it is so delicious, so satisfactory. Definitely give it a try. Let's go over the macros for the bagels. So the 2 bagels are the same in terms of the dough. The only thing that we changed there is adding an egg wash and the everything bagel seasoning. So the egg wash, I'm gonna say it was about a teaspoon on each of the bagels. So that would make it 5 calories, 0 carb, 0.3 grams of fat, and 0.4 grams of protein. With the everything bagel seasoning by Clubhouse, there is no macros or nutrition label on there. I went onto MyFitnessPal and it's giving me 1 calorie and 0 across the board. I'm going to guesstimate that I used about a teaspoon on each bagel. So it's gonna be 4 calories and then 0 across the board. With the toppings on the bagel and nothing else, the whole bagel for 1 bagel itself is 175 calories, 29.05 grams of carb, 0.9 grams of fat, and 10.85 grams of protein. So again, a little bit carb heavy, but you're eating a bagel, so it's going to be carb heavy. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to follow me on Instagram _HelloHarley. Follow me on TikTok at HelloHarley, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!